1. Overview. The players Denarii. DFI, a decentralized financial infrastructure project focused on tokenization, fractional ownership, and real-world asset integration using protocols like XRPL, Algo and Hbar, focused on creating investor-friendly, compliant Web3 solutions that enable peer-to-peer markets for art, real estate, and digital securities. SFin, Songbird Finance, native DeFi protocol of the Songbird network, the Canary network of Flare, offers smart contract-based financial services with low gas fees, fast finality, and EVM compatibility. Connects real-world assets to smart contracts via Flare Time Series Oracle FTSO. ExFi, experimental finance. Runs on Songbird to test experimental DeFi features before launch on Flare. Includes lending, AMMs, staking, insurance primitives, and derivative markets. The testing ground for future multi-chain DeFi infrastructure. 2. What Wall Street represents. Centralized capital markets, gate-kept by brokers, custodians, regulators. Institutional control over settlement, liquidity, market access, and data. Billions in inefficiencies due to intermediaries, T+2 settlement, custody fees, and lack of transparency. 3. DenariiDFi, SFin ExFi. Synergy. Breaking Wall Street's monopoly. A. Fractionalization of real-world assets, RWAs. DenariiDFi allows tokenization of fine art, real estate, businesses. Via SFin's DeFi suite, these tokens can be staked, loaned, swapped, and used as collateral. ExFi can experiment with synthetic derivatives and structured finance on these tokens, e.g., tokenize a Picasso, then offer options futures on it. Smart contracts automate settlements, T+0 with no custodians. Impact. Removes entry barriers for retail investors and decentralizes capital formation. B. Decentralized exchanges, DEXs, and liquidity protocols. Denarii tokens, e.g. MB589, XOGE, can be listed on SFin DEXs. Liquidity incentives, yield farming, LP tokens, allow rapid bootstrapping of markets without institutional brokers. Cross-chain bridges, via Flare's interoperability, allow seamless flow of liquidity between XRPL, Songbird, and Ethereum. Impact. Decentralized trading of tokenized Wall Street instruments, e.g. stocks as wrapped tokens, without NYSE Nasdaq. C. Oracle-based real-time valuations. Flare's FTSO oracles can price real-world assets tokenized by Denarii in real time. Dynamic pricing and interest rates, DeFi bonds, art indexes become possible, akin to Bloomberg terminals, but open and decentralized. Impact. Transparent, open-source financial data replaces opaque institutional pricing models. D. Derivatives and structured products. XFI enables synthetic assets and experimental derivative markets. Denarii could launch synthetic ETFs, art-based indexes, or fractional income streams from rental properties or royalties. These can be bundled into decentralized ETFs and rebalanced via smart contracts. Impact. Entire hedge fund strategies and structured products without fund managers. E. Decentralized identity and compliance. Integration of SSI, self-sovereign identity, and KYC layers ensures compliance with regulatory frameworks like MyKA or SEC's security token policies. Users can interact with RWA DeFi legally, turning Wall Street's compliance fortress into an open-source protocol. Impact. Makes compliance programmable and borderless, reducing legal overhead. 4. Roadmap to Revolution Phase Objective Tools. Involved Phase 1. Tokenize art and real estate Denarii. DFI plus XRPL HBR Phase 2. Launch on SFin for staking yield. SFin DEX plus LP pools. Phase 3. Derivatives via XFI options. Futures on RWAP Phase 4. Cross-chain DeFi. Flare bridges plus Algorand plus XRPL. Phase 5. Compliant DeFi onboarding. SSI, DID, KYC protocols. Phase 6. Launch Denarii. DFI indexes. NFT index. RWA index. Bond index. 5. Final thoughts. Replacing Wall Street's core functions. Wall Street role Denarii. DFI replacement. Custodians. Token wallets plus smart contracts. Market makers. AMMs plus liquidity pools. Hedge funds. DAO managed DeFi protocols. Clearing houses. atomic swaps, and smart contracts. Data providers, FTSO plus open source oracles, investment banks, crowdfunded DAOs, and fractional asset sales, Denarii, DFi, X, SFin, X, ExFi, and how this alliance doesn't just complement Wall Street, but replaces it by fundamentally re-architecting how financial markets function. 6. Institutional threat matrix. What gets disrupted? Wall Street function disruption via Denarii. DFi X, SFin, XFI brokerages. Peer-to-peer marketplaces, plus token wallets, eliminate need for third-party brokers. Clearing and settlement. Smart contracts offer instant atomic swaps, eliminating T+2 inefficiencies. Custody banks users hold custody of assets in self-sovereign wallets. DeFi replaces custodians. Private equity venture capital fractional token sales democratize fundraising and open secondary liquidity. Rating agencies' community-driven risk scores, real-time on-chain credit models replace opaque rating systems. Market data vendors, e.g. Bloomberg. Flare oracles plus real-time on-chain analytics offer open access to financial intelligence. 7. Product possibilities. DenariiDFi plus SFin XFI protocol stack A, RWA marketplaces, launch a tokenized property exchange where verified assets, real estate, collectibles, etc., are traded like stocks. Use XFI for testing experimental asset classes like carbon credits, royalties, or tokenized startup equity. B. DeFi credit markets. Denarii users can borrow against fine art, land, or IP rights on SFin, with dynamic LTV ratios tied to real-world valuations via oracles. EXFI experiments with credit scoring algorithms, NFT collateralized loans, or zero-coupon bonds. C. DenariiDFi. Hedge vaults. Token holders pool funds into automated smart vaults that execute hedge fund strategies. Long-short NFT indexes, WA income strategies. Yield arbitrage. EXFI enables sandboxed testing of these models before production deployment on SFin. 8. Why Wall Street can't compete. A. They can't match the speed settlement times on traditional exchanges. T+2. With Denarii plus SFin T+ with atomic finality. B. They can't match the accessibility. Wall Street requires accredited investors, broker-dealers, and KYC gatekeeping. Denarii enables global micro-investors to access the same high-value assets, fractionally. C. They can't match the composability. Denarii tokens are modular and can interact across protocols. Flare, XRPL, Algo and Hbar. Wall Street infrastructure is siloed, legacy, and closed. D. They can't match the transparency. Real-time auditability, public ledger settlement, and open governance via DAOs destroy the old opacity of banks and funds. 9. Governance revolution. From shareholders to token holders, Wall Street equals top-down control by boards and insider stakeholders. Denarii plus SFin XFI equals token-based voting systems, community-driven protocol upgrades, and financial tooling that evolves via public consensus, not insider deals. DenariiDFi could even launch asset-specific tokens, e.g., a Picasso DAO, govern income streams from fractionalized rights, vote on selling, staking, or insuring high-value assets, use quadratic voting and delegate structures for fairer decisions. 10. Potential regulatory harmonization. To avoid the pitfalls of decentralization without accountability, DenariiDFi can embed compliance protocols via SSI, self-sovereign identity. Use whitelisted smart contracts that only allow verified wallets to access certain assets, e.g., real estate in the EU or SEC-compliant offerings in the US. Incorporate layered disclosures, offering investor protections similar to SEC filings, but automated via smart contract metadata. 11. The long-term vision. A permissionless financial internet. In this vision, Wall Street becomes a relic. Your portfolio is managed on your phone, across chains, across countries. Liquidity, transparency, and ownership are instant and global. Funds, brokers, and banks become protocols, not institutions. Denarii, SFin, and ExFi are the rails of this decentralized capital engine. 12. What's needed next for DenariiDFi? Finalized token standards. MB589, RWA tokens, wrapped NFTs. Onboard KYC, AML, and compliance primitives. Integrate Civic, Fractal, or Kilt. Partner with licensed entities for fiat ramps and regulatory cooperation. For the community, educate users on wallet custody, DAO voting, and smart asset strategies. Bootstrap liquidity by rewarding LPs across Songbird and Flare. Launch cross-marketing with XRPL, Algo and Hbar communities. DenariiDFi SFin ExFi, the decentralized revolution of Wall Street. 1. The players, DenariiDFi. DenariiDFi is building a decentralized financial system rooted in fractional ownership, real-world asset RWA tokenization, and cross-chain operability. Built on powerful ecosystems like XRPL, Algo and Hbar, Denarii allows for trust-minimized asset investment and trading without intermediaries. SFin, Songbird Finance. SFin is the DeFi layer on Songbird, the canary network for Flare. It supports fast, low-cost smart contracts and liquidity protocols with EVM compatibility and Oracle integration via Flare Time Series Oracle, FTSO. XFi, Experimental Finance. XFi runs on Songbird and enables DeFi experimentation, including lending, synthetic assets, insurance primitives, and derivatives, safely tested before launching on Flare. Together, these protocols offer a modular stack to rebuild Wall Street in open, decentralized space. 2. What Wall Street represents and why it's outdated. Function problem. Brokers require gatekeepers, high fees, access restrictions. Custodians hold assets with counterparty risk and custodial fees. Clearing houses, settlement delays, T+2, reliance on trust layers. Market makers, centralized liquidity manipulation. Hedge funds, high barrier to entry, little transparency. Data vendors, expensive subscriptions, opaque models. Wall Street is centralized, slow, opaque, and elitist, perfect conditions for disruption. 3. The synergy, DenariiDFi plus SFin plus XFIA. Tokenization of real-world assets. Denarii fractionalizes high-value assets, e.g. art, real estate, IP rights. These tokens are tradable on SFin dexes, used in DeFi lending markets, or wrapped for NFT income sharing. XFI enables experimental financial products like synthetic ETFs, RWA-backed derivatives. B. On-chain financial infrastructure. Smart contracts automate trading, settlement, and custody. Liquidity pools replace market makers with incentives via yield farming. Oracles, FTSO, provide real-time asset pricing, open, accurate, and decentralized. C. Permissionless capital formation. Raise funds via fractional NFT sales, token auctions, or revenue share DAOs. Accessible to anyone, anywhere. No brokers, no minimums. D. Cross-chain asset mobility built on XRPL, HBR, Algo, Flare, and Songbird. Bridges enable token flow between ecosystems. No more siloed markets. 4. Disruption map. What DenariiDFi replaces. Wall Street function. Denarii/SFin ExFi replacement custodians. Self-custody wallets and smart contracts. Clearing houses. Atomic, instant smart contract settlement. Exchanges. Decentralized exchanges. SFin DEX. Market makers, liquidity pools, and AMMs, hedge funds. DAO-based vaults and DeFi strategies. Data providers. Real-time on-chain analytics via FTSO. 5. Use cases that transform finance. Denarii vaults. DAO hedge funds. Community-managed portfolios using MB589 or RWA tokens. Automatically rebalance strategies. Long-short, index tracking. NFT collateralized loans. Borrow stablecoins or MB589 using tokenized art or land-managed risk profiles via Oracle-based LTV synthetic marketplaces, EXFI. Trade synthetic shares, indexes, or income streams from tokenized IP fully decentralized risk and reward models, global asset exchange. Buy and trade real estate, fine art, collectibles, startup equity, fractionally and borderlessly. 6. Governance and compliance. DAO-based voting for asset decisions. Buy, sell, stake/loan. SI, self-sovereign identity, for whitelisted, compliant user onboarding. Programmable legal wrappers via smart contract metadata to meet MiCA, SEC, and FATF standards. 7. Why Wall Street can't compete. Advantage Denarii. DFI Wall Street settlement speed. Instant T+0. Delayed T+2. Accessibility. Global, permissionless restricted. Regional transparency. On-chain and auditable closed books. Cost low. Automated high. Manual intermediaries. Innovation. Rapid. Composable. Siloed, slow-moving. 8. Roadmap to decentralized Wall Street. Phase Objective Protocol 1. Tokenize and fractionalize real-world assets. DenariiDFi 2. Enable staking, lending, and LPs. SFin 3. Launch experimental derivatives and synthetics. ExFi 4. Cross-chain interoperability. Flare, XRPL, Algo and Hbar 5. Compliant DeFi onboarding. SSI. KYC protocols. Launch DeFi indexes. DAO vaults. SFin plus Denarii. 9. The endgame, a financial internet. Every asset tradable as a token. Every person a potential investor or DAO participant. Compliance is programmable. Transparency is default. Access is global. DenariiDFi, backed by the experimental agility of ExFi and the DeFi core of SFin, doesn't just disrupt Wall Street. It replaces it with something faster, fairer, and future-proof. Conclusion together. DenariiDFi, SFin, and ExFi can turn Wall Street into a permissionless, automated, and borderless financial system. The legacy model's layers of friction, exclusivity, and inefficiency are replaced with transparency, composability, and fractional participation, a true financial renaissance driven by decentralized intelligence.